Aunt Chris, can you give us some background on your life?
Okay, well, I'll give you background on my life right before my stroke. I am an IT retired IT professional. I worked for 35 years in the chemical industry, and my last job was working in Washington D.C. I represented the chemical industry on the issue of cybersecurity when it was just beginning to be talked about. Not like today, everybody knows what it is. We were trying to educate the industry and Congress on the perils of cybersecurity. I had a stroke in October of 2011, 15 months after I retired from Dow Chemical, and I had started my own consulting business. I had a severe ischemic cerebellum stroke on my left side. And a cerebellum stroke impacts motor skills, and it impacts speech, and it can impact short-term memory. I describe my memory loss like this. My secretary quit. There's nobody in the area. There's a slot in my door, but my door is locked, and people just keep throwing mail and paper and messages in my office. There's nobody to pick them up and put them in the right file. So when someone asks me a question, I don't know the answer. That's what my short-term memory problem's like.
Okay, since you've had your stroke, what's been the hardest adjustment in your life?
The hardest adjustment by far is lack of independence. But there are a lot of other adjustments I had to go for too. I think I want to show you. For example, I am left with a condition called ataxia. Think of a taxi, get a ride in, put an A in front of it, an A in back of it, ataxia. It's the lack of motor control, and I shake predominantly on the left half of my body, but really all over, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And so I'll give you an example. My left hand, I'm not doing this, it's doing it. It doesn't like me anymore, doesn't listen to me. I used to think about people, why can't you just pick up that crayon? I mean, it's just pick it up. I'll show you why. I don't know if I can do this. I can get it eventually because I'm better. Okay, I had aggressive therapy. But I can't let it go. I can't open my arm, hand, and let it go. So I have to put it down and back away from it. Okay, that's an example of things that are just a little bit tough for me now. I can't walk, can't drive. Now I can speak better every day than I used to be able to. I had a feeding tube for 18 months. I couldn't eat, I couldn't swallow. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't sit up. If somebody sat me up, I couldn't end it shaking.
Mm-hmm.
So I have come a long way, but I will never be the same.
So, what's something positive that you've experienced since your stroke?
That's a tough question because when you're in my condition, it's difficult. You have to force yourself to think positively. But one thing I can say is it made me appreciate how disabled people struggle. I now understand simple things like this.
And if there was something that you could change about handicap accessibility in public places, what would you suggest?
What I've found about public places is ADA regulations seem to make a minimum, okay? So they say 3-foot doorways. I can promise you, unless you're a child or someone in a small wheelchair being pushed through a 3-foot doorway, you can't make it without it hurting yourself, the chair, or banging the door up. I've been doing it for 8 years. I know. It banged up a lot of doors. Many public places give you plenty of, they have ramps and they let you in the front door easily. But once you get in, many do not have enough room in them for you to move around. So you can't take advantage of whatever they have to offer. I also lived in a handicap accessible apartment for about 6 years. And it was supposed to be following ADA regulations. And if it did, I even measured some, and they did a pretty good job, but they will do the least required because, unfortunately, everything disabled costs more. Everything. You need more room to move around. You need things, set up differently. So, companies or businesses, they're in the business of making money, and they have to spend money to make handicap accessible places in their place of business. Many don't feel that's to their benefit.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. We appreciate it.
I enjoy doing it, and I hope it helps.
Thanks.